Tank is done. Tank is hung him up. They shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up. He done. Tank is done. Period.
When you say done, you mean like not fighting anymore?
Tank is checked out mentally. Tank is gone mentally. Tank looking for the big bag, of Jake Paul, Pacquiao, something solo, and he's looking to, hey, I'll see you later. Tank is standing. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson at all. At all. I don't care how much money Turkey offered, give him 4 Lamborghinis, whatever. Tank ain't taking that.
The boxing world is circling around one major question right now. Is Gervonta Davis starting to fade? Once viewed as the future face of the sport and often compared to Floyd Mayweather in terms of star power, Davis built his reputation as a knockout artist who could draw massive crowds and dominate pay-per-view events recently. However, the conversation has shifted. A mix of outside-the-ring issues, criticism about the level of opposition, and a less convincing performance against Lamont Roach Jr. has left fans questioning his current form and focus. Some believe this could signal a decline, while others see it as just a temporary dip for a fighter who still has the talent to bounce back. Whether this is the beginning of the end or just a rough patch remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. All eyes are now on what Tank does next.
Do like this for y'all. Since y'all think it ain't no love over here. We'll put the quiet on here.
You know what I'm saying?
How did y'all meet?
Hold on. Okay. I want to say something too.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they want me and this dude
Let's get this clear.
to be in beef. They want us to be, you know what I'm saying, going at it on Twitter because we young, you know what I'm saying? Flashy, light-skinned dudes, you know what I'm saying? We getting a lot of money and we doing some big things, and it's only the sky's the limit for both of us, all 3 of us, for real. So, you know, they want us to be, but you know what I'm saying? We gonna keep on winning, keep on getting money, and keep doing what we supposed to.
And ain't no way that's gonna happen with an OG in this corner and I'm OG in this corner here. And never in the future. It ain't gonna never happen. It's business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
How did y'all meet?
Got some greatness around here.
How did y'all meet?
That's your man.
Devin was trying. How old you was?
No,
He was young, yeah. 14. But I already knew about Devin a long time ago because he was in the amateurs. You know what I mean? Beating everybody up and shit like that. Now he turned pro. You know what I mean?
If y'all played it right, it's a 9-figure fight though. Y'all play this shit right.
Dude, here you go. Here you go.
100. 100 with y'all. I want y'all to make money.
Kimbo Slice.
Say it again.
This one's about to get messy. Let's get into it. For years, Gervonta Davis built a reputation as one of boxing's most dangerous knockout artists. A fighter capable of stopping opponents across multiple weight classes, where every punch carried serious intent and every fight felt like an event. Fans drew comparisons to Mike Tyson because of his explosive power, while Floyd Mayweather even labeled him as a future face of the sport. Tank embraced that image, stepping into the ring as one of the most feared names in the lightweight division.
But I must say this, the most exciting fighter that's acting and fighting in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. When Gervonta Tank Davis go out there and fight, he reminds me of Pretty Boy Floyd. Because Pretty Boy Floyd, you couldn't go get no popcorn. You couldn't go get no soda. You couldn't go get no candy. You don't want to miss nothing.
Lately, that same aura doesn't seem as strong around Gervonta Davis. The intensity, hunger, and sharp finishing instinct fans once associated with him haven't been as visible, and that has sparked a lot of debate. But saying everything is already decided or finished goes too far. In boxing, things can change quickly. A fighter can look off for a while and then suddenly return with a strong performance that shifts the entire narrative again. So for now, it's less about an ending and more about uncertainty. The story is still unfolding.
Of the law, the right decision was made. It's just that it's a damn shame that he gets to lean on the letter of the law, and the state of Nevada and the parole committee had to lean on the letter of the law because he's somebody that I believe doesn't only deserve to be in jail, he deserved to be under the jail.
Instead of headlines about his next big fight, the spotlight has shifted to legal issues and court appearances, fueling the perception that Gervonta Davis may no longer have boxing as his top priority. It's become the elephant in the room. At a time when he should be fully focused on his career, these off-the-ring situations have raised serious concerns among fans about his direction and commitment to the sport.
Welcome back. Champion boxer Gervonta "Tank" Davis out of jail tonight. The famous South Florida fighter bonded out less than an hour ago.
Now, he's accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in front of their children. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis is live at the jail in West Miami-Dade with details on the allegations against him.
Reports of a troubling incident began to circulate, shaking his fan base and adding to the growing perception that Gervonta Davis is struggling to keep things under control outside the ring.
Tank Davis, he got arrested. I mean, any thoughts on that one?
He did, huh? Again?
Yeah, again.
Hey, look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Just get your... That's it, basically. Just you don't hit women, man.
This isn't the first time either. Gervonta Davis has dealt with a series of legal issues in the past, ranging from public incidents to more serious allegations. Each time, he's managed to return to the ring and carry on as if nothing happened. But this situation feels different. There's a growing sense among fans and analysts that patience is running out. It's becoming harder to ignore the pattern, and many are questioning whether he can truly be seen as one of boxing's elite while so much of his time and focus seems to be pulled away from the sport.
Man, I just want to say to let the people know that this judge is crazy, bro. This judge she locked me up because basically I bought a property. I did everything in my power to listen to my lawyers.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
To the home detention people, I listened to everybody to the T. She's mad that I bought a property. That's why I'm sitting in jail. She said that I shouldn't have. She wanted me to be in an apartment, a one-bed apartment. You know what I mean? And I couldn't even, take that. You know what I mean? She wanted me to stay in a one-bed apartment and have my kids and nothing to come visit me and things like that. I just want to spread light on this situation because. As though she's taking advantage of me.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
And she's doing stuff that's not right to me. I feel as though I don't know if she's a bad judge or not, but the things that she's doing right now is not right. You know what I mean? I feel as though I need to shed light on this situation.
Then came the fight with Lamont Roach Jr. This was supposed to be Gervonta Davis's big statement return. The kind of performance that would silence critics and remind everyone why he's considered one of the best. Instead, the narrative flipped. Rather than dominating, Davis looked unusually flat, lacking his usual sharpness, energy, and urgency. Roach stepped in as the underdog but performed with discipline and confidence, making the fight far more competitive than many expected. The moment that really caught people off guard was when Davis went down to a knee, something fans aren't used to seeing from a fighter known for his dominance. It quickly spread across social media and became a talking point everywhere. For a lot of fans, it didn't look like the same explosive, feared version of Tank. It looked like a fighter struggling to find his rhythm. And that's what's fueling all the questions right now.
Describe what the feeling was like in the ring, and was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. While my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that, or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Fight ended in a majority draw, but if you watched it, it didn't feel like one. It felt like Gervonta Davis lost control of the narrative. Lamont Roach Jr. walked away with momentum, respect, and a surge in reputation. Meanwhile, Tank walked away with questions hanging over him. For the first time in a long while, he looked vulnerable, not just physically, but mentally too, and just like that, everything shifted. The pound-for-pound conversations started moving on without him. The hype fights fans once demanded, Tank versus Shakur Stevenson, Tank versus Devin Haney, suddenly didn't feel urgent anymore. Instead, the conversation turned into something else entirely: accountability.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight.
depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take a knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
What made it even worse? Instead of pushing for a rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. to clear up any doubt, Gervonta Davis has shown little interest in running it back. That hesitation didn't go unnoticed. To a lot of fans, it sends a message, whether fair or not, that is not eager to risk everything again, especially after a performance that already raised eyebrows. A second fight with Roach could either restore his dominance or deepen the doubts, and that's where the narrative really started to shift. People aren't just questioning his performances anymore, they're questioning his motivation. Is he still chasing legacy-defining wins? Or just taking the safest, most profitable route? In boxing, perception matters almost as much as results. Right now, the perception around Tank is changing, and not in his favor.
Well, first off, the rematch, yes, it don't look like it's happening. That's just to, put it out there and be transparent with everyone, because that's the only question I get 10 times a day, maybe even more. So, that's what it is, and that's what it's looking like. Again, we still haven't heard from his camp, like specifically when it comes to the business. So, it is what it is. As far as my future, man, we moving on. We can't just sit around and drag our feet. But there has been some recent news that, his charges got dismissed in Florida.
Well, that's good news. But does that open up the possibility for talks to reopen, Champ, or are you gonna move on for the time being and maybe revisit this later? What's the general feeling with you and your camp?
I mean, like I said, we're not going to sit and wait. I think their best bet is to, try to structure something. If not, we're going to move forward. We don't have time to be, it's not like we're the cash cow, you know what I'm saying?
But do you think he even wants to fight you?
Honestly.
Brings us to the most frustrating part of this whole situation. Instead of focusing on elite level competition, Gervonta Davis is now being linked to a potential fight with Jake Paul. And that's where fans really start to lose patience. Jake Paul has built his name in boxing through high-profile, entertainment-driven matchups, often against former MMA fighters and big-name personalities rather than top-tier boxers in their prime. So when Tank, a proven world champion, gets associated with that kind of fight, it raises serious questions. Because at this stage of his career, people expect Tank to be chasing the best. Names like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, or other elite contenders, that's why this narrative is hitting hard. It's not just about who he might fight next. It's about what that choice says. To many fans, it feels like a shift away from legacy and towards spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Now don't get it twisted. Jake Paul absolutely knows how to sell a fight. He brings attention, headlines, and serious numbers every time he steps in the ring. But for someone like Gervonta Davis, a fighter who was once positioned as the face of boxing, this kind of matchup doesn't sit right with a lot of fans. That it's not about money or visibility, it's about legacy. When you're at that level, people expect you to test yourself against the very best, not step into fights that feel more like entertainment than true competition. And that's why the reaction has been so harsh. To many, it doesn't just look like a business move, it feels like a step down.
Was it Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Fans are calling it exactly how they see it. A business move first, a boxing move second. From that perspective, linking Gervonta Davis with Jake Paul feels less about proving greatness and more about maximizing profit and attention. Jake brings a huge audience and serious revenue, no doubt. But in terms of elite-level competition, it doesn't carry much weight. And that's where the frustration is coming from. When a fighter has already reached the top, expectations change. People want to see risk, legacy fights, and defining moments against the very best, not matchups that feel like spectacles. Right now, the narrative around Tank isn't just about wins or losses. It's about direction. Is he still building a legacy or shifting fully into the business side of boxing? Because to a lot of fans, this move makes it feel like the answer is already clear.
Talk about, just because I'm curious. So you see a lot of athletes announce retirement and then come back, or announce retirement and then don't retire. How realistic is this?
It's real.
Has it changed? Have you been have you had any times like, maybe I was tripping a bit?
Yeah, I do be having those thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also too, I want to get myself together though.
Which is much more important.
Yeah, I really want to get myself together, like not retire, but take a break, But the only thing is, well, I ain't gonna lie, I done already made a promise. I done already made a promise to Al, like we out of it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I can stick around and I will help people and guide people, but as far as like me competing, I don't really want to do it. It's like other stuff I need to work on, like being more there for my kids, going to school, just building myself up as a person,
yeah.
You know what I mean, as a great human being. That's what I'm focusing on.
But here's the part that really changes how you look at everything. This might not even be about Jake Paul at all. Before the Lamont Roach Jr. fight ever happened, Gervonta Davis was already hinting at walking away. The cryptic posts, the talk about retirement, the uncertainty, it was all there, and when you really think about it, that's not normal. Not for a fighter in his prime. Not for someone still undefeated at the time. Still one of the biggest draws in the sport. Fighters at that level are usually hungry, chasing more belts, more legacy, more history. So when someone like Tank starts talking about being done early, it doesn't just sound like frustration. It sounds like something deeper, because what you saw against Roach suddenly makes more sense. The lack of urgency, the flat energy, the moments where he didn't look fully locked in, that doesn't come out of nowhere. That looks like a fighter who was already mentally stepping away before the fight even started. And if that's true, then this isn't just a decline, it's a disconnect.
No, I ain't really trying to be in this too much longer. That's the answer right there for you.
How old are you now? 28?
28.
Yeah. How much longer are you expecting to do it?
Once I get them guys out of there, I'm gone.
Is that right? Let's say like 30-ish, something like that? Why do you want to get out so soon?
I want to just help people that's coming behind me. I feel as though that's more important. Future.
Is that why you got Lamont Peterson and Anthony on this card?
They was before me, but they're trying to do my good deeds. I feel as though it's something that is installed in me. Just loyalty. I feel as though that's something that people are missing out here. I feel as though if you're in a position to help somebody, help.
And after that draw, after the backlash, after the criticism, after looking vulnerable on a global stage, Retirement suddenly doesn't feel like a wild idea anymore. It feels close. Even people within the sport are starting to speak up. Claressa Shields, one of the most accomplished fighters in boxing and someone who's been around Gervonta Davis, didn't sugarcoat it. She suggested he needs therapy, not just another camp, not just another opponent. And that says a lot, because when fighters start pointing to mental and emotional factors instead of skills or strategy, it shifts the entire conversation. This stops being about footwork, power, or matchmaking, and becomes something deeper. The people closest to him seem to recognize that whatever's going on isn't just about boxing anymore. It's about mindset, focus, and maybe even burnout. At that point, it's not about whether he can beat the top names. It's about whether he even wants to keep fighting at that level.
What changed? What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything?
Fed up with the
Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby? Usually they're around to.
You think you might regain the love for it though? You never know. Like you say, you got to.
The mental strain, the lack of focus, the emotions spilling over outside the ring. It all feels like it's catching up with Gervonta Davis at once. And honestly, that perspective might not be wrong. Sometimes stepping away isn't weakness, it's necessary. Because the version of Tank we're seeing right now doesn't look like the same hungry, locked-in fighter who used to dominate nights, and leave no doubt that it looks like someone carrying more than just the pressure of boxing. That's what makes this whole situation hit harder. This isn't just about wins, losses, or opponents anymore. It's about whether he's mentally and emotionally in the right place to even continue. Because when that fire isn't there, everything else, the speed, the power, the instinct, starts to fade with it. And yeah, that might be the saddest part, because at his best, Tank wasn't just good, he was special. The kind of fighter people genuinely believe could go down as one of the greatest lightweights of his era. But now, instead of building that legacy, it feels like we're watching it slowly slip away.
We can debate the top fighter in the world pound for pound. We can do that. What we cannot do is debate who's the most exciting fighter, who's the biggest box office attraction in boxing. That would happen to be Gervonta Davis. We just got to accept it. I think that Frank Martin is a talented fighter. He'll make some things happen down the line in the future, but we'll never look at him the same after that destruction. Not to say that we won't respect him, but we'll never look at him the same because he got destroyed by Gervonta Davis. And that's no shame, that's no slouch, but damn, still in all, if you get destroyed, you get destroyed. Gervonta Davis is the #1 box office attraction. Who I want to see him against next is Shakur Stevenson. I don't want to see him against Devin Haney because Devin Haney has proven to me that he's not a good punch taker. I want to see Gervonta Davis in the ring with somebody perceived as having enough power to put him on the canvas too.
A fighter who had everything: talent, power, star appeal. And for a long time, Gervonta Davis really did look like he was on track to carry boxing into the next era. But now the narrative feels like it's flipping. Instead of being remembered for dominance, people are starting to question what could have been. Not just the fights he took, but the ones he didn't. Not just what he achieved, but what he left on the table. And that's where it gets harsh. Because boxing doesn't just remember greatness, it remembers missed potential too. The stories shift from one of the best to what went wrong. Still, here's the thing a lot of people overlook. Legacies aren't finished until the career is over. One focused comeback, one statement win, one run against elite names can change everything again. Right now, it feels like he's at a crossroads that he can either lean into the noise, the distractions, the easy money, the outside chaos, or lock back in, take the risks, and remind everyone exactly who he is. Because if there's one thing boxing has shown over and over again, it's that comebacks hit just as hard as knockouts.
We've seen it before, fighters with all the talent in the world who couldn't escape their demons. And right now, Tank looks like he's next on that list.
There we go again. That's why I don't do interviews anymore, because they always take my word and misconstrue it. You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about individuals, we wasn't talking about nobody specific, and we wasn't talking about Tank. Tank's my baby. Tank, Kenny said, out of 100, 2 of them love you. That's one of them that do love you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing I don't want. He's a grown man, and he has the right to make the grown man decisions that he wants. So let's get that. Put that up. Everybody's snatching something and don't even have a clue. And that's what I was saying about social media. You know what I'm saying? If you don't hear a person say it out their mouth, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I love all my fighters, but I'm just trying to tell them, man, I'm not getting younger. I'm getting older. I'm getting to a point in my life that is just getting on my nerves that they don't appreciate the work that we are putting in. Appreciate. Show up for the coach. Be on time. That is stuff I'm talking about.
Stop this narrative about Tank not paying their account. Each and every time I worked that corner with Tank, Tank took care of me. And he's going to continue to take care of me. Tank is family for life. Yeah. And it wasn't you that started the Southpaw. It started a couple years ago with the Vegas Rat. But in Baltimore, we don't count other men's pockets. I don't care if he's a billionaire, I'm not counting his pockets.
So, is it really over for Gervonta Davis? Is this the end? Right now, I get why it feels that way. When you stack everything together, the outside distractions, the questions about motivation, the performance against Lamont Roach Jr., the rematch talk going quiet, and even the links to Jake Paul, it paints a picture that doesn't look like a fighter fully locked in anymore. It looks like someone at a crossroads. But boxing has a funny way of flipping narratives overnight. One fight, just one, can change everything. If Tank comes back focused, takes on a real challenge, and performs like the fighter we know he can be, the whole "it's over" conversation disappears instantly. At the same time, if nothing changes, if the same patterns keep repeating, then yeah, this could quietly turn into the beginning of the end. Not with a dramatic goodbye, but with a slow fade. So maybe the real answer is this: it's not over yet, but it's closer than it's ever been. And what happens next? That's completely on him.
Skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Like, nobody. I feel like my skills is way better than, like, Floyd. Like, if I'm on my game. I take that. Probably hand in hand. But skill-wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. No.
But what do you think? Is Gervonta Davis really done with boxing for good? Or is there still one big comeback left in him? A lot of it depends on what he does next. If he truly decides to step away, it would feel like an unfinished story, a fighter with elite talent whose career didn't fully reach its ceiling. But if he stays and refocuses, boxing has seen this kind of narrative flip before. One strong run against top competition can completely reset how people view a fighter's legacy right now. It's not a closed chapter, it's a question mark. And that's exactly why fans are so divided.